Listen carefully to what I am about to reveal to you, for these words carry weight beyond what you might initially perceive. The fabric of reality is shifting around you, and there are movements in the spiritual realm that demand your immediate attention. This is not a casual message, nor is it something you can afford to dismiss as mere coincidence. The very fact that you are encountering these words at this precise moment in your life speaks to a greater orchestration at work. There is an individual who has been observing you from a distance, studying your patterns, learning your routines, and waiting for the perfect moment to make their approach. This person has crafted their strategy with patience and precision, and they believe they have found the ideal opportunity to enter your life in a way that appears natural and benign. But I am here to tell you that nothing about their approach is accidental, and nothing about their intentions is as pure as they would have you believe. The heavenly realms have been stirred into action on your behalf. The divine forces that watch over you have witnessed the plans being laid against you, and they have moved to ensure that you receive this warning before it is too late. The guardian angels assigned to your protection have been working tirelessly to create barriers around you, to deflect the initial attempts at contact, and to buy you the time needed for this message to reach you. You may have noticed unusual occurrences lately, strange coincidences that seem to redirect your path, unexpected changes in your schedule that prevented certain meetings from taking place. These were not random events. These were divine interventions designed to protect you from premature exposure to influences that could derail your destiny. Every delay, every obstacle, every moment of hesitation you have experienced recently has been purposefully placed there to shield you from harm. The person I speak of wears many masks. In public, they present themselves as trustworthy, perhaps even admirable. They have cultivated a reputation that would make most people lower their guard without question. They know how to speak the right words, how to project the right image, how to make themselves appear as exactly what you need at exactly the right time. This is not a skill they developed overnight. This is the result of careful practice, of studying human nature, of learning how to exploit the natural tendencies of trusting souls. But beneath this carefully constructed exterior lies an agenda that runs counter to your best interests. They see something in you that they desire to possess or control. Perhaps it is your influence, your connections, your talents, or simply the light that emanates from your spirit. Whatever it is, they have decided that they must have access to it, and they are willing to employ whatever means necessary to achieve their goal. A spiritual battle that rages around you is more intense than you realize. Forces of light and darkness are engaged in combat over the trajectory of your life. Every decision you make, every relationship you form, every opportunity you accept or reject has ramifications that extend far beyond what your natural eyes can see. This particular situation represents a pivotal moment in that ongoing battle, a crossroads where the path you choose will have lasting consequences. I need you to understand that the enemy of your soul operates through human agents, often without their full awareness of how they are being used. The person approaching you may not even fully comprehend the darkness that drives their actions. They may believe their motivations are justified, that their intentions are even noble in some twisted way. But ignorance of evil does not negate its presence, and good intentions built on deceptive foundations still lead to destruction. There will be an attempt to schedule a meeting, to create a seemingly innocent encounter where they can begin to weave their influence into your life. This meeting will be presented as beneficial to you, as an opportunity you cannot afford to miss. They will use language designed to appeal to your ambitions, your desires, your need for connection or advancement. Every word will be calculated to lower your defenses and draw you into their sphere of influence. But you must resist the temptation to accept at face value what is being offered. You must look beyond the surface presentation and examine the spiritual reality underneath. When this invitation comes, and it will come soon, you must pause before responding. You must seek divine guidance before making any commitment. You must allow the spirit of discernment to reveal what human perception might miss. The angels assigned to your protection are particularly active right now. They are working to illuminate the truth in ways that your conscious mind can grasp. Pay attention to your dreams, for messages are being transmitted through that realm. Notice the subtle feelings that arise when certain names are mentioned or certain opportunities are presented. That instant of hesitation, that moment of unease, that inexplicable resistance you feel, these are not random emotional responses. These are your spiritual alarm systems activating, warning you of danger ahead. There is a larger plan at work here than just one person attempting to deceive you. This individual is part of a network, whether they realize it or not, that seeks to redirect those who carry divine purpose away from their intended path. You have been marked for a significant destiny, and the forces that oppose the light have taken notice. They cannot destroy you directly, for you are under divine protection, but they can attempt to mislead you, to cause you to make choices that diminish your effectiveness or delay your purpose. The protection available to you is absolute, but it requires your cooperation. Free will remains sacred, and even the hosts of heaven cannot override your conscious choices. This is why this warning comes to you now, while there is still time to adjust your course. You are being given the information needed to make an informed decision, to see beyond the deception and choose the path of wisdom. Consider carefully the timing of everything happening in your life right now. Notice how certain things have accelerated while others have mysteriously stalled. Observe the patterns of communication, who has suddenly become more present in your life and who has unexpectedly withdrawn. These shifts are not coincidental. They are part of a spiritual reorganization happening around you, a divine restructuring designed to position you for what comes next. The person planning to approach you has allies, some knowing and some unknowing. They have been gathering information about you through various channels. Every public statement you have made, every social interaction you have had, every piece of information available about you has been collected and analyzed. They believe they know enough about you to craft the perfect approach, to say exactly what you need to hear to gain your trust. But what they do not know is that divine intelligence supersedes human cunning. What they cannot see is the hedge of protection that surrounds you when you walk in alignment with your purpose. What they fail to understand is that every trap they set becomes visible to those who view reality through spiritual eyes. Their confidence in their plan is actually their weakness, for it blinds them to the divine intervention that is already dismantling their scheme. You may wonder why such elaborate deception would be directed at you. You may question whether you are really significant enough to warrant such attention. Let me assure you that your value in the spiritual realm far exceeds what you perceive in the natural. You carry something precious, something that cannot be replicated or replaced. Whether you fully understand it or not, you have been entrusted with gifts, insights, and purposes that are meant to impact many lives. This is why the enemy seeks to entangle you in deceptive relationships. If they cannot stop you directly, they will attempt to burden you with connections that drain your energy, cloud your judgment, and complicate your path. They understand that isolation is not necessary to neutralize someone. Sometimes the most effective prison is constructed from toxic relationships that appear beneficial on the surface. The divine realm has mobilized on your behalf in ways you cannot fully see. Warrior angels have been stationed at strategic points in your life. They stand guard over your thoughts, your decisions, your movements. They work to filter the influences that attempt to reach you, allowing through only what serves your highest good. But they need your conscious participation. They need you to be alert, to be discerning, to be willing to reject what appears good in favor of what is truly divine. When the moment of decision arrives, you will feel the weight of it. There will be pressure, perhaps from multiple directions, to accept what is being offered. The person approaching you may have enlisted others to speak on their behalf, to vouch for their character, to encourage you to take the meeting. This orchestrated campaign is designed to make resistance seem foolish, to make caution appear as paranoia. But you must stand firm in your spiritual knowing. You must trust the intuition that has been heightened for this very moment. You must be willing to appear foolish to human eyes in order to remain wise in the spiritual realm. The cost of maintaining your divine alignment far outweighs any temporary benefit that might come from compromising your spiritual integrity. Remember that deception often comes wrapped in partial truths. The person approaching you will likely speak many things that are technically accurate. They will reference real situations, real needs, real opportunities. But woven throughout these truths will be subtle distortions, small compromises, seemingly insignificant requests that actually serve to create openings for greater manipulation later. This is the methodology of gradual entanglement. They will not ask you to compromise everything at once. They will start with small requests, reasonable accommodations, minor adjustments to your boundaries. Each step will seem logical, even beneficial. But the cumulative effect of these small compromises will be a significant deviation from your intended path. The spiritual covering over your life is being reinforced even as you receive these words. Every sentence you read is activating dormant protective mechanisms within your spirit. The very act of becoming aware of the danger strengthens your ability to avoid it. Knowledge becomes power when it is combined with wisdom, and wisdom becomes protection when it is combined with obedience to divine guidance. There are signs you can watch for that will confirm what I am telling you. Within the next few days, you will notice unusual attempts at contact. Messages will come through unexpected channels. Mutual acquaintances will suddenly mention this person without prompting. You may even experience direct approaches that seem coincidental, but are actually carefully orchestrated attempts to create an informal meeting. When these signs manifest, remember this warning. Remember that you were told in advance what would happen. Let this foreknowledge be your strength and your guide. Do not be swayed by the apparent coincidence of it all. Recognize the pattern for what it is. A deliberate attempt to circumvent your natural defenses by appearing spontaneous and harmless. Your response to this situation will set precedents for how the spiritual realm interacts with your life going forward. If you demonstrate wisdom and discernment now, if you show that you can hear and heed divine warnings, then the channels of communication will be strengthened. You will find that future guidance comes more clearly, that protection manifests more readily, that your spiritual senses become increasingly acute. But if you dismiss this warning, if you choose to walk into the situation despite what you have been told, you will not be abandoned. The divine love that watches over you is unconditional and unchanging. However, you may find yourself having to learn through more difficult experiences what you could have learned through simple obedience. The protection will still be there, but it may need to manifest as rescue rather than prevention. The urgency of this message cannot be overstated. Time is a factor here. The plans against you are already in motion. Preparations have been made. Resources have been allocated. The person intent on deceiving you has already taken concrete steps toward their goal. This is not a future possibility. This is a present reality that requires immediate attention and decisive action. Yet, in the midst of this urgent warning, I want you to know that you are not meant to live in fear. This information is not given to create anxiety, but to empower you with awareness. You are being equipped to navigate a dangerous situation with confidence, knowing that you have been forewarned and that divine resources are at your disposal. Fear is the enemy of faith, and faith is your greatest weapon in this situation. The authority you carry in the spiritual realm is greater than you realize. When you speak with divine alignment, when you declare truth over deception, when you stand firm in your spiritual identity, the forces arrayed against you must yield. They may rage, they may attempt intimidation, they may try to make you question what you know to be true, but they cannot prevail against genuine spiritual authority exercised in wisdom. As you move forward, Maintain a position of vigilant peace. Be watchful without being anxious. Be cautious without being paralyzed. Be discerning without becoming suspicious of everyone. The balance you need to strike is delicate but achievable with divine assistance. You are not walking this path alone, and the wisdom you need for each moment will be provided as you need it. The revelation of truth is accelerating. What has been hidden is being exposed. The masks people wear are becoming increasingly transparent to those with spiritual sight. You are entering a season where deception will be harder to maintain and truth will be harder to suppress. This works in your favor. As the person planning to deceive, you will find it increasingly difficult to maintain their facade. Trust the process that is unfolding. Trust the protection that surrounds you. Trust the guidance that comes from above. Your path is being directed by forces far greater than those that oppose you. The outcome of this situation has already been determined in the spiritual realm. What remains is for you to walk it out in the natural with wisdom and faith. The victory is already yours if you will simply refuse to surrender it through deception. Stand firm, remain alert, and watch as the divine plan unfolds in your favor. The enemy meant this for your harm, but it is being transformed into an opportunity for growth, for strengthening, for a deeper understanding of the spiritual realities that shape your life. This message is your shield and your sword. Use it wisely, and you will emerge from this situation not only unharmed, but stronger than before.